Hey everyone, this is Mrs. Mallard here, and this video is going to be a tutorial to walk you through some examples of how to do Punnett squares with blood type. So just a quick review. Remember, we've got 4 different blood types: type A, type B, type AB, and O. And the genotypes are listed over here on the left-hand side. So when a question asks or a question tells you a person has type O, you're going to be using 2-letter I's to represent that individual. If they have type AB blood, you're going to use I to the A, I to the B. All right. If a person has type A or type B blood, they have 2 different possibilities. If they are type A homozygous, remember homozygous means both of our alleles or both of our letters are the same. If they're homozygous type A, they would be IA. If they are homozygous type B, once again, both of the alleles would be identical. They would be IB. So homozygous A and homozygous B. The other possibility if someone is type A or if someone is type B is they could be heterozygous. So heterozygous would mean that they have 2 different alleles. So in this case, if someone is heterozygous type A, they would have IA little I. If they are heterozygous type B, they would be IB little I. So keep this in mind and this chart in mind as we work through these Punnett square examples. So this is our first example. We have a father has type O blood and his wife is heterozygous for type A blood. What are the chances that their children will have type O blood? So what we need to do here is, first of all, the father has type O blood. So I have to write the letters, fill in the letters for the Punnett square for the father. Because he has type O, if you forgot type O, I'm going to represent it with 2 little i's. So I'm going to put the father here. I'm going to put my 2 little i's. The wife is heterozygous for type A. All right, so what does that mean again? I'm going to look back at my chart. All right, she's type A. She's heterozygous, which means we have 2 different alleles. All right, so the wife is going to be IA lowercase I. So I'm going to put that over here. All right, now that I have my Punnett square set up, my next step in the process is I actually have to go in and fill in my Punnett square. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in all of my boxes. All right, so now I have my Punnett square filled in, and the question says, what are the chances that their children will have type O blood? So I look at my boxes and I notice that this kid will have type O blood, and this one will have type O blood. So that means I have 2 boxes, 2 out of 4 boxes. And remember, each box represents 25%. So this is 25 and then 25. So that means we have a 50% chance that they're going to have children with type O blood. All right, let's go ahead and move to another example. We have another example here that's a little bit more involved. It says a woman has a child who has type O blood. The woman has type B blood. There are 2 men who are possible fathers of the child. One man has type A blood and the other man has type AB blood. Work out the 2 possible Punnett squares to prove which man is the father. All right, so let's start here. We're going to need to set up our Punnett squares. It says the woman has type B blood. However, if we look back here, type B blood, it doesn't tell us if she's homozygous or if she's heterozygous. It just tells us she has type B blood. So the only thing that we know is she has to have at least one I to the B. All right, so I'm going to put the woman over here. She's got one of these. We do not know what the other letter is because it does not tell us. And I'm going to set up another Punnett square the same way. All right, we have two possible fathers. One man has type A blood. I look back at my chart. It says he has type A blood, but it does not tell us if he's homozygous or if he's heterozygous. We don't get that information, but we know he at least has one IA. So we know, we'll do man number one over here. We don't know what the other letter is, but we know he has at least one of these because he has type A blood. It says the other man has type AB blood. Okay, so remember type AB blood. I go back to my chart here. Type AB, okay, there's type A, B, so these are the letters I'm going to use for that man. So he has type AB blood, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. All right, so I'm looking back. I have filled in my Punnett squares for man one and man two. And notice I do have lots of kind of question marks because those are the pieces of information we don't have. However, we can go back and we can look here that the woman has a child with type O. All right. So if she has a child with type O, I go and I look back at my chart. Type O is two little i's. All right. So type O is two little i's. Her kid is type O. So her kid has to have two little i's. Now, what that tells me is that the mom, all right, this was the mom over here. The mom has to be little I here because she has to be able to pass on one of these little I's to her child. So I'm going to change that here. And I'm actually going to change this to a little I here and then put the little I over here. Okay. So now we've got as much information as we possibly can have. Now notice here, I'm looking at the kids. All right, I'm looking at the kids. These two right here are going to have type AB blood. This kid is going to have type B blood. And then this kid definitely is going to have type A blood. So what that information tells me is that this guy right here cannot be the father, because he cannot produce a child that has type O blood. Remember, type O blood, we have to have two little i's. Now, over here, it's possible that this guy, all right, if he's type A blood that's heterozygous, he can produce a child that has type O blood. So in this case, we would say that father, man one, this guy right here, man one, so number one, he is the father of this child. All right, let's look at a third example. This one says there's been a mix-up of babies at a hospital. A mother has type B blood. All right, so she's got type B blood. So remember, I go back. Type B, it's either this or this. We don't know if she's homo or heterozygous. All right. But we do know that she has type B, so she has to be this. And then down here, she's either going to be capital IB or little I. We don't know. Okay. Her husband, on the other hand, has type AB blood. All right, so I go look at my chart. Okay, AB, that's the letters that I'm going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. And now, once I have my Punnett square set up, now all I got to do is fill in my boxes. Okay. Now it says which baby belongs to them. We have two baby. Baby X is type AB. So remember, AB means that they're going to be this. And then type O means the baby's going to be two little eyes. Okay. Now looking at my Punnett square, I notice it's not possible to have a baby with type O blood because none of my boxes can have two little eyes. So then based on my information I see here I've got an IAIB. So what that tells me is that baby X is the baby that belongs to this couple.